Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Midweek Mindset with me and my lovely host, Kimberly James. My name is Michelle Anuntua, co-founder of Harmony's Divine Design, where I work alongside the awesome T Weaver that you see actually on camera today. Yay. Um, And basically, we focus on new and seasoned entrepreneurs traveling through this journey of entrepreneurship and assisting you on getting your ideas out of your head and into a product or action for your business. So, we do this by offering one on one business coaching, online teaching classes, and products and services that will help you streamline your workflow. So, now I'm going to kick it over to Kim.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kimberly James, and I'm the owner and creative director of Josie May Full Service Event Planning and Josie May Design, where we make custom apparel, prompt guides, a little bit of everything. I am also a coach for Coco Twins, helping women, get unstuck. So I'm passionate about empowering women to figure out their full potential and kind of step into who they truly are.
I love it. Love it. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And pull this up. All right. So today, Kim and I decided to pick a really interesting and even personal topic for ourselves. So we are going to be talking about shifting limiting beliefs to empowering ones. And what we're addressing today is that negative talk, right, that we have in our head at times. That negative speak of sometimes of self-doubt, of not feeling enough, whether it's in our personal lives or in our professional lives. These thoughts, these beliefs that we hold within ourselves, they actually create a ripple effect. So I am going to go ahead and let Kim go from here.
Okay. We're doing the video first, right?
Yeah, so let me go ahead and pull that up.
Never be successful, and you begin to believe that you'll never be successful, you will never be successful. The things that are spoken over us have an impact in our life. There's power of life and death in the tongue. And our parents don't even realize that sometimes. They didn't do it on purpose. They were not intending to be harmful and malicious to us. But they make comments. They tell us, you did that wrong, you're doing this wrong, you're not doing that right. You're not going to succeed in that area, you won't be successful in that. And those labels, we take them on ourselves. And if we're not careful, we start to believe them. Now the problem is not that they were spoken over us. The problem is that we started to believe them when they were spoken over us. And one of the keys to success is to take off the labels that have been spoken over us and say, I don't agree with that label. I'm not prideful, I'm not arrogant, but I do not receive the label that I will not be successful.
All right, so let me stop share.
So, what limiting beliefs have you heard about yourself that are not true? That I'm not good enough, that I don't know enough, that my thoughts, opinions aren't valid. We all have negative thoughts, but it's how we deal with the negative thoughts, the negative feelings that we have, and how we use that to inspire us to be better. So if you have ever dealt with negativity, I'm not good enough. You say, you end it with a yet. I'm not good enough yet because I will continue to learn so I can perfect my craft. So that's one thing that I do because the negative thoughts always come in, but it's how we deal with the negative thoughts that come in. So for me, it's always ending it with a comma and a yet as opposed to a period or an exclamation point. So that's one way you can kind of reframe and rechange the way your thoughts come in because they will continue to come in. With every new challenge that we do, every new approach that we take, you're always going to have some kind of negative feeling. It's human, it's natural, but it's how we deal with those negative thoughts that can impact how we move forward.
I would agree, absolutely. I know for myself, a limiting belief for me was feeling I was not good enough. And that limiting belief came because of a personal experience that I had on a 9 to 5 that I worked. So at this company, um, one of the skills and talents that I have is I'm a problem solver. I like to solve problems. That's just it's just my enjoyment. And at the company, I was identifying problems. So a solution was for me to create a position that would pretty much alleviate the bottleneck that we were having. So I created the position, everything was well and dandy. Management had changed and it shifted. And it went from me feeling accomplished to now me feeling less than, because when new management came, they felt as though the position that was created to assist the company wasn't really sufficient for what they were looking to do with the company. So you go from being promoted to being demoted because they wanted to put me back into the original position that I was in. And I'd say really up until the beginning of this year, I was still dealing with my feelings from that situation. Even when it came to my own business, because I didn't feel adequate. All the skills and talents and things that I used to quote unquote impress my manager to receive that promotion felt insignificant. And so for a while after that job, I dealt with anxiety. I dealt with, those limited beliefs that I placed on myself because I felt something was wrong with me. And when in reality, this is just the way that particular company needed to move at that particular time. However, where I was personally, I couldn't receive it that way. It felt like it was a personal attack on me. So when it felt like it was a personal attack on me, I started to believing the negative narrative that my subconscious was feeding. Because really, nobody was outwardly being disrespectful. Nobody was outwardly saying, you aren't this, you aren't that. But I am a big actions person. So the way you act around me, you know, basically your aura that you send off to me lets me know of a whole lot before we really have to sit down and have a conversation. So when I'm in an environment where I stopped feeling welcomed. I stopped feeling needed. I stopped feeling efficient on the job. I started to literally feel like I was being chipped away at. And I know, even though that was a professional setting, I know there are personal settings where we all experience those moments, right? Where there was a situation or maybe an opportunity that was presented to us, but yet because we didn't feel deserving of it, because we didn't feel adequate to it, or we didn't feel we had the requirements, we didn't go for it. And I think having this topic today is so important because one of the main things that I love is the fact that you all are here. So, regardless of whatever limiting belief that you may have and you may hold right now for yourself, for your business, being here today is showing that, guess what? I'm still committed to me. I'm still committed in doing better. Yeah, I may not have tackled my whole to do list yesterday, but today's a new day. So I definitely want to say you guys are deserving of the path that you choose to create for yourself. You guys are definitely needed and noted within this community. So that's my spiel.
So, Michelle, how
Yeah.
did you transform that negative situation to empower you in your personal life as well as in your business?
Well, for me, um, little did I know that was a big beginning of a ripple effect for me.
Mhm.
So the job for me was just the beginning, and then personal, came. And I literally had to hit bottom for me. And when I say bottom, it's my emotional bottom. It was the bottom of, you know what, God, I'm tired. I'm tossing my hands up. I can't do this no more type bottom. That type of bottom where all you can do is just cry silently. And once I got to that point, and me personally, I sat in prayer. And then from there, I felt in my spirit it was time for me to push forward to make a change. And that change for me personally looked like seeking professional assistance. So I went and got a therapist to help me out, to, you know, help me identify where these thoughts were coming from, where these feelings were coming from. And it was just a point, and it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like a turning point where you just feel it inside of you, where you know what, enough is enough. I have to make a change. It's not for someone else, but this is literally for me. So that was my turning point. Charlene.
Um, I'm sort of having like the same type of problem in terms of not that I don't feel like I'm good enough. I feel like I'm good enough. But the problem that I have is other people don't feel like I'm good enough. Like this is mainly pertaining to my job. They know that I have the skill set, but because I work in a male dominated environment, and a lot of them are African, they kind of undermine and push my skill set to the side. So it had become like at one point, instead of them listening to what I could do or understanding what I could do, they listened to other people's opinion of me. They had never done my job before, ever done my job before. And it was frustrating at a period of time, but I think it does have an effect on my business because it still lingers there because it's still happening.
Mm-hmm.
Where I have the skill set to do certain jobs. But when I say something to them and I'm letting them know what's going to transition or what transitions within our environment, because everybody that's over top of me is new. When I say everybody, I mean everybody over top of me, all the way up to the top level manager, top level secretary is new. But when you try to explain something to them, they don't listen. But when it happens, whatever you tell them happens, then they want to come back and have an entire conversation with you. At that point, I don't want to have a conversation with them because I'm like, I already explained to you what was going to happen. And now that it's happened, you want to have this long, drawn out conversation. But you didn't want to do anything in the first place when I was telling you what was going on. So it's kind of frustrating in that way to me.
I am in a similar situation. I've been at my job for almost 20 years, and it's a small company. They always ask for my opinion, but they never use it.
Yeah.
So I've learned that I'm going to keep my opinion to myself. This is their business, and this is my employer. So it's a little bit different. I had to do that because I still have to work with these people. So we have our meetings, and I pretty much keep it to myself. Because it is really frustrating when you take your time and your energy and your effort to come up with a plan that could definitely help your business, but then you don't use it. Or you send an email advising this is, my opinion, my approach, my expertise on how we should handle a certain situation, and you don't hear a response. I have to say, from personally, don't take it personal, and try to continue to figure out how you can move in that space and do your job. That's probably the best advice I can give with that, because I'm living in it now. So now I look at it as, my business is my business and that's their business, and how they choose to run their business is up to them. I can't take it personal. Maybe they're just not ready to receive it yet. They have come back, every once in a while, hey, what was your idea on X, Y, and Z? I'll send them the information, but I don't spend as much time trying to figure out their business for them. I use that energy for my business, for my own business.
And that's one of the things I had to learn to do, because they had me to write some SOPs. So I wrote the SOPs. Nobody looked at them. They told me to send them to 3 people. I sent them to those 3 people. Nobody looked at them. We got a new supervisor. Nobody looked at him. We got a new manager. Nobody looked at him. We got a new chief. Nobody looked at him. And then they came back just recently to ask me about the SOPs again. So I sent them the same SOPs. But to this day, nobody's looking at them. But every time we have a problem in this area, they keep coming to me. I'm like, don't come to me. I sent you the SOP. Somebody needs to look at the SOP to see what needs to be changed. I said, because everything that's in the SOP is, and it's part of the process of processing their work. I said, now, when they make a mistake, it's because they're not following the process. I said, because they have the SOP, but they're not following the process. But every time there's a mistake, you want to come to me and talk to me about it. I'm not in charge. Mm-hmm. So my philosophy now is, and I guess they get upset with me because my philosophy now is, I just work here. I'm like, and I have even come out and said, I just work here. That's not on my level. Yeah. Because they're trying to get me to make decisions so that they don't have to make the decision and then say, well, she told me. No, it's not going to work like that. Mm-hmm. So now my goal is to focus more on my business, because I have, I'm near retirement age. So I'm trying to retire. I'm just trying to get my little pension and everything and retire.
Mm-hmm. And you use that experience of writing their SOPs for your own business. I mean, that's literally what I had to do. Like, all the work that I've been putting in to build and grow someone else's business, that's experience that I can use for my business. And that's literally what I've done. So, okay, I wrote this X, Y, and Z for them, and it didn't work for them because they didn't choose to look at it. But I think it's fabulous. And guess what? I can incorporate this in my own business. So take all that experience, you use it as an experience and a learning lesson. So now you have the experience to do it for your own business.
Okay. I do look at it as a learning lesson, but it's just hard sometimes when you go into work and the first thing, it's like, I only go in 2 days a week. And those 2 days, it's rough. Because last week I had to train all the supervisors. I'm like, how am I training them? I didn't ask to be a supervisor. That was the reason why I didn't want the supervisory position, because I knew that nothing has changed in the 4 years. So it's not like it's going to just automatically overnight just change. So that's where I am.
I understand.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah.
It's rough. It's rough. And Kim, you made a really valid point, and as well as Charlene, is, creating that disconnect, right? So when both of you said, you know what, I've removed myself from that investment part of myself, right? Of let me help you out, let me work with you, to now, you know what, I'm just employee, your employer. And I know that feeling very well. And I also learned of, like you said, Kim, taking the skill sets that you learn on your businesses, with these companies that you work for, and applying it to your own personal business. So for me, with most of my roles, I was in an administrative role. I was the girl behind the desk all the time, typing away, tap, 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 tap. And I had to work through my own negative thoughts to pull that side of me back out when it came to my business, because I'm like, wait a minute, this is a skill that nobody gave to me. They may have trained me in it,
Mhm.
but me with my knowledge and constantly growing and constantly expanding it, this is me.
Mhm.
So I had to now become comfortable. I'm in a process of becoming comfortable in my own light, because I'm taking those skills and I'm taking those gifts and talents that, you get a pat on the back for at a 9 to 5 or a pizza party. Um, y'all know I ain't lying.
Look,
Um,
I must say, at least you get a pizza party. I don't even get a slice of pizza because I'm gluten free, and they don't even think about me.
oh
So
goodness. Oh
No.
no, 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 no. Lena said they get pizza every other week. But and instead of those type of accolades, when you take and shift your mindset from applying yourself so much into their company and applying it into your business, it totally reshapes you. It reshapes you as a person. And Charlene, I'm sorry to hear that, your company does not hear you. But I will say, from the art that I see behind you, Chatty or Midjourney definitely is listening. So keep going. And that's
Mhm.
for anybody here. Keep going.
Mhm.
Keep going. Lula.
Thank you. I was just going to say, and her artwork is beautiful, that in situations, I find myself in situations like that where either they're not listening or they're quietly stealing your ideas and applying them and using them as their own. I was in a situation where the they would give us instruction. They would tell us to do a process, but no one gave us step-by-step instructions how to do it. Because no one did, each person did it, each location did it the way they wanted to do it. So then when it was time for audit, you're wondering why everyone is failing the audit. So I'm a detailed person. I got to have step-by-step audit. So I actually wrote up the instructions and I did pictures, screenshots on how to do each one of these processes. I did it for my team. And because it worked so well for my team, now everyone wants to know, well, what are you guys doing over there that, you are slamming out this, knocking your audits out of the park and no one else is doing it. So I shared the information with one. He was the instructor and he's supposed to have been teaching us how to do this. So I ended up sharing the information with him. Next thing I knew, we were on a training session and I'm looking at the information. I'm like, and me and my team, they're like, Miss Lula, isn't that your slides? Aren't those, isn't that your stuff? Meanwhile, no mention of I got this. They didn't have to say my name, but say, oh, we got this information from one of the other managers at one of the locations. This is what they're using. Nothing. Everything they fancied it up, but just used it and applied it for themselves. Now y'all looking like little wonder boys or what have you. So that was just as worse as Charlene, what you're saying, where they're not listening at all. They're not applying my work at all. So I used to say to my team, look, I don't sit at the big table. I'm at the children's table in all of this, and I'm going to stay at the children's table. Let them do what they do at the big table, because whatever vision they have at that big table is a different perspective from where I'm sitting. So this is your company. You run your company the way you like. I'm going to handle things over here at the children's table or the little table. Y'all go ahead with the big table. And that gave me a peace of mind. This way I didn't feel less than. At one point, you kind of feel like you're being used. And,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, use and abuse, so to speak. But then when I made that shift in mindset, I was able to then go into the company, look at these same people, do my work to the best of my ability without feeling like I need to get back at somebody, because that did cross my mind. so, so,
You're human.
that it crosses your mind. So I had to say, okay, no, we're going to go in, we're going to do what we're being paid to do, and then I'm going to go on home and mind my business.
Yeah, you stand in your lane.
Right, right.
Yeah, agreed. I always say I stay in my lane because there's no traffic, there are no potholes, and there are no accidents. So I'm staying in my lane.
I love that. I'm going to have to use that one. But you know what? One thing that I love about this whole conversation so far is how, even though we went through those situations, we took that time to check in with ourselves and identify, hey, listen, something's not right. I'm not feeling right. It's too much going on. I got to basically say time out on this. And whether it be professional or personal, those personal check-ins, I call them my own mental health check-ins, where I literally just take time to myself and I check in with myself like, okay, Michelle, how are you today? And I'll sit there for a minute, be like, you know what? Well, I'm actually really good. Or I might, whatever I'm feeling. But the fact that I'm checking in with myself to know and identify those feelings is so important, because what's next is crucial. And the what next is, if I'm feeling off, if something is disturbing my peace or something like that, I have to disconnect from something. Now, because I checked in with myself, I have a clear mind to be able to identify what I need to do to resolve the situation, whether it be at my job, like you ladies are saying, creating those boundaries, saying, I'm not giving you this extra. I gave you a little extra, you abused it. Guess what? I'm taking it back. The same thing is for limited beliefs. You know what? I did have this mindset of I couldn't do it anymore. I'm going to cut that off because I know I can do it. It might take me a little longer. It may not look the way I wanted to at first, and that's fine. But the fact of the matter is, I am using my discernment to push forward, to continue. So whether it be on your job, whether it be in your personal life, take those moments to check in with yourself. If something is making you uncomfortable, if something isn't sitting well in your spirit, address it. That's one thing that I've learned and I'm still learning. I have to address things. I have gotten to a point in my journey where certain things I can't let it sit on me anymore. It's not comfortable. And when I get to those moments, or if I'm around something or someone that causes a service disruption, yeah, I'll distance myself if I have to. But if it's a conversation and something was said, I'm like, whoa, no, 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 no. We let's rewind it and try it again. You know, many times some of us are uncomfortable speaking up. I know I was. For a lot of times, I'm cool being quiet in the corner. I'm the queen of smile and nod your head. Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. And that's just how I keep it, you know. But um, I think that with you ladies, first of all, I thank you for sharing, because that's tremendous. But limited beliefs or even actions feeling undermined at times, it takes a toll on us. It takes a hit on us, you know. And with that, I think we could roll into the second part of our mindset, um, which is our presentation, and identifying ways that we can pretty much help ourselves out of this limited mindset. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Get this ready for you guys. All right, Kim, you have anything you'd like to add while I'm getting this together over here?
No, just not allowing other people's thoughts to affect how you move forward. Everybody has an opinion, but it's how we think about ourselves that's most important. So, like I said, if you have someone who has this negative opinion, a negative thought, add instead of taking that on for yourself. You're not good enough. Well, I'm not good enough yet because I'm still building and growing and learning how to perfect my craft. Don't let that I'm not good enough yet end as a period. Make that a comma, add a yet, and then finish the sentence. But don't allow yourself to get stuck in somebody else's negative opinion of you, because that will not help you moving forward.
Kim, I had to make a sign for myself that says F what they say, to remind myself that, don't get, like you're saying, don't get stuck there with what someone else says, because that's not necessarily my truth. And I had to keep it in front of my cubicle well, I was working from home, but keep it in front so that each time I either they would give me some type of feedback or something would be said, or even if I misinterpret, a lot of times it was they may have said something, but I misinterpreted or I took it way deeper than it may have been given to me. I started adding on years of other stuff to it. And I had to look at that sign that says F what they say. And that would kind of like recenter me. So that was helpful.
I love that. I remember for me, I used to keep Bible verses on anger and how to mind my tongue as, as a reminder. Because, I mean, we're human and we have those moments where sometimes the flesh wants to jump up before our know how. Um, and rightfully so at times because it's a defense mechanism. We want to protect ourselves and we have to protect ourselves. So I love that, Miss Lula. All right, so with the presentation really quick, um as we were talking about limiting beliefs, this we're going to look at the impact of limiting beliefs. So it says digital success, but also think about how this operates just on your day to day. So, hesitation and barriers. Limiting beliefs create hesitation to launch products or pursue marketing strategies. Limiting beliefs also cause hesitation in you taking action, right? So, if you have that sense of you can't do it, not being able to do it, you're going to hesitate on taking that next action and it's going to cause a pause. Overcoming limitation excuse me, overcoming limitations. Overcoming these beliefs leads to taking consistent action, experimenting, and improving results. So, in order to overcome a limiting belief, we have to start canceling out that negative, right? So, those words of I can't, or I'm not good enough, or anything that makes you feel lesser than, we need to start feeding in with that positive language of I am capable. I will do this. I am more than enough, right? Addressing mental barriers, guidance on addressing common mental barriers within a digital space. So we're all in this digital download space, and every last one of us has our own journey that we have traveled and that we're still traveling. And we all have something that we struggle with. And learning how to overcome those barriers are so important. And I'm gonna tell you, it's something that takes time. It's not something that, you can flip on and off. It takes time. So, how can we start transforming those? Well, one is empowering affirmations. So, again, that's feeding positivity into yourself. When it comes to your business, your mindset might be, well, the market is too crowded, or what I offer, how is what I offer unique? Instead of saying things like that, say things to yourself of, you know what, my product is needed in this marketplace. It provides solutions to this pain point. My niche is unique because it is part of me and my story. You know, start feeding that empowerment into yourselves, because you'd be surprised how reading affirmations, like Miss Lula said, she had a sign, to remind her to get her mindset right. Putting an affirmation up that you see every day that resonates with you will help assist you with that motivation and give you that little extra jump start. All right, so one practice is rewriting your limited beliefs. So, in order to do this, it's an exercise, and I'll share this presentation with you guys afterwards. Is take a moment and identify a limiting belief that you have. So remember how I said earlier, I check in with myself. So during that mental check-in, if I'm having any type of negative vibe to what I'm feeling, I write it down. And the reason that I write it down, I'm a visual person. I have to see it in front of me. And then I can either agree or disagree. Create a new narrative. Wait a minute, I went the wrong way. So take your belief, rewrite into an affirmation. Sorry about that. So that negative belief of, I can't get these products out, rewrite that to, I am capable of getting one product out a day. I think we put so much on ourselves at one time. Don't be scared to break it down step by step. You be surprised how those one small steps, such as rewriting it into an affirmation, can positively affect you. And ultimately, what you're doing is creating a new narrative for yourself. You're creating a new story. So, yeah, you might have had those limiting beliefs prior, but by you creating that boundary, identifying it, and wanting to take action to excel, improve, to do better, you're creating a new version of yourself and a new narrative to share. Share your belief, share your rewritten belief with your group. So if you have a group of individuals in our tribe that you talk to, or your own personal family group, start talking to about these things with people, and how you seeing yourself changing your mindset and shifting, how that is even positively impacting. You'd be surprised how fast we spread love. All right, mindset and action, aligning beliefs with digital growth. So increase confidence. When you shift your mindset, you do start getting that confidence boost, because what you're doing is you're saying to yourself, I believe in you. You're believing in yourself. You're believing in what you're doing. So when you have those hurdles before of launching a product or marketing, when you start saying that I can, or I am, or I'm capable, I will, I have, I've done, those things will start coming out a little bit easier. Better decision making. So when your beliefs align with your goals, you ultimately make a better decision, because you're making a decision that you stand by, that you have decided, hey, listen, this is what I'm doing. All right, you start to take more risks. So things that may have completely stopped you before, now you like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. All right. Visualize your success. And this is so important. What does success look like to you? Really and truly. When we think of it, we all have our own ideology of what our success, quote unquote, looks like. For some, it could be the lavish lifestyles, the luxury lifestyles. That's fine. But for others, it could be on a nice, quiet piece of land somewhere where you don't hear traffic. I know that would be nice for me because I hear traffic all day long. So visualize your success and write it down. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Even write down what it feels like to wake up in the morning. When I'm successful, this is how I expect to feel. And those feelings, you'd be surprised, will start coming over now. All right, so actionable takeaways for digital entrepreneurs and just for ourselves in general. One is identify a belief. So we are going to look at one limiting belief this week for the remainder and think about how you can transform that for yourself. So if you, in the beginning of this week, had something nagging at you or feeling at you, address it with yourself and see how you can turn that negative into a positive. Rewrite it and repeat it. So once you have turned it into that positive, don't go back to that negative thought. If you've used the brain power to turn it into a positive, that's where we're going to keep it. Okay. And don't be scared to track your progress. So whether you journal or even jot it down on social media, express your wins because that's what they are. When you shift your mindset in any capacity, that's a win. So that is the presentation I have for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and send that back over to Kim.
All right. So, you guys, I love homework. So, I have a journal to share with you guys, and I'm hoping you guys will be able to use it and turn those actionable steps, into progress for yourself and your business. Hang on for 1 second. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So this week's homework is rewriting your narrative. It includes 10 tips to rewrite your narrative. So acknowledge the belief, challenge the belief, reframe the belief, use positive affirmations, visualize success, track your progress, surround yourself with support, take consistent action, learn from setbacks, and celebrate small wins, which is really important. So regardless of how small the win is, if you've made progress going in the right direction, celebrate it. Celebrate it. So day one is identifying limiting beliefs. And then there's questions for you to answer with some scripture and an affirmation every day. Day two, understanding the root. What is the root cause of that limiting belief? Day three, the connection between belief and success. So how does this belief affect your business decisions or your confidence? Day four, reframing the belief. How can you reframe the limiting belief into an empowering one? Day five, taking empowering action. So what is one bold action you can take that aligns with your new belief? Day six, visualizing success. What does business look like once you've embraced the new belief? Day seven, reflect and celebrate. I love to celebrate. That's the event planner in me. I love a good celebration. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate every win. Then there's weekly goal setting, weekly to-do list, and then a little journal, and then information about Michelle and I. So I will drop that in the chat right now.
I was telling Kim, I'm like, she is a journal whisperer because I asked her how long it took her to make that journal. She told me 20 minutes. I said, Miss Ma'am, I would have been all night. This lady could whip these things up. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy. And Miss Lula is excited for the homework.
Oh, good, good. Now do the homework.
Absolutely.
I think I missed my call, and I think I should have been a teacher.
You should have. I tell you that all the time. All right. Does anybody have anything they would like to add, or
If
everybody?
I can say something.
Go ahead.
Good morning, afternoon. Um, Real quick, if you guys believe in God and everything, we had a death in my family this morning, so I might not be my chipper self, so I apologize. So, but I wanted to tell you guys a small win for me. Last night I had an amazing opportunity to be coached by a very wonderful individual. And I wanted to say what I took away from that coaching. Um, this person really understood the vision that I was looking for. And this morning I got up and I was able to create, for the first time in 3 years, my very own images that I have so desperately wanted to create without looking for someone else's images and recreating them. I was able to, with this coach's help last night, create my own GPT. And I was able to create the most stunning images. To me, they are stunning. To somebody else, they might not be, but that's okay. And I was so proud of myself for the first time in a very long time that because I was very close to canceling this session last night with this coach because of some things that are going on in my personal life. But I stuck through it and I did it, and I'm so glad that I did, and I'm so appreciative to this coach. Not only did this person help me through the gunk in my head and the crap that I say to myself on a daily, he guided me in a way that made me feel that I belonged. And in a space where I am probably the only Caucasian female. And like I told her, I felt like an Oreo sometimes. I'm like the white filling. And and she giggled. And it truly made me feel that even though I might feel out of place sometimes, that is my own belief. Because not a single one of these wonderful women here or in the community have ever made me feel like I didn't belong. So I wanted to say thank you, Michelle, my coach, for the amazing opportunity to be able to do what I did last night. And I cannot wait to be able to give everybody a link to this GPT that I created so they can take it for a spin and give me the feedback. And hopefully, you get the amazing little images that I created and enjoy them as much as I did. And right now, I don't care if I ever sold a single one of them because I am so happy with what I created. So I just wanted to say the small win is I got up and I did it, and I was proud of myself, and I wanted to tell everybody that if you really ever need an amazing human, whether just someone to talk to or a coach, you really need to take Michelle's one-on-one because she will truly guide you in a way that I've not had in this whole time, and I've had many, many classes. So, thank you, Miss Michelle. I love you from the depths of my soul. I appreciate you, and you are truly God's light.
You're gonna have me over here crying, girl. First and foremost, I'm so sorry to hear about the loss. Um, and your family.
Take
I, you already know, you already got my heart. We talked about that last night, but thank you, thank you, thank you for those beautiful words. And I am so stinking proud of you. I can't wait for everybody to see what you have cooking up. And Kristen, really and truly, I will say, I can't be the coach that I am if you weren't the student that you are. You know, coaching.
Okay, don't be saying that because I already cried. But thank you.
I'm gonna get you back for this because you got the tear ducts activated. No, but seriously, um, in order for a coach or a mentor to provide you the best that they have, it has to be received. So that means you have to show up as well and want to come ready to do the work, you know. And I tell Kristen all the time, I am grateful for the kind words and the love, but this is all about her. I am here for her. And I am just helping her identify the blessing that's already inside of her. Because I didn't create it. I didn't make it. I'm just letting you know, hey, yeah, you can do that. And you can do that too. I tease her all the time. And even AI Fusion knows I call myself Jiminy Cricket because I'm that one little person on your shoulder. Excuse me. I don't have to yell at you. I ain't got to scream. But I'll just tap you. Did we get that done? Okay, cool. And even if you, she's hella annoying. I love Lena. Um, but I'm annoying with love because I care. And I know that, there's greatness in all of us, every single one of us. Some of us might have gotten and exposed it quicker, but some of us may need an extra hand, and it's okay. It's okay. So, Lena, I will continue to be annoying. That's why you'll be on dial this evening. So, I love y'all. Before we close out, any other comments or questions before we head out? Dean, stop instigating. All right. Well, if that is all, and if that is that, Kim, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate each and every one of you guys. And looking forward to you guys completing your homework. Figure out what those negative, beliefs are and then reframe them. Reframe them. Create a positive affirmation based off of that negativity so that you can move forward in your business.
Absolutely. And Sugar just got on me. I got to share that link for the presentation. So let me go ahead and do that now. All right, so the link for the presentation is there. And as always, I thank you guys for spending your Wednesday with us. It is a pleasure. And like Kim said, I can't wait to see what you guys get from the homework and how we can handle this next week. Talk to y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.